Hi guys, and welcome back to another video game with powers. I'm Jake, and in today's video, I am bringing you another episode in our What Board Game Got Back series, where we're going to be taking a look at the different board games that I have backed in a given month. Today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the board games that I backed in the month of November 2025. And again, man, there are some really interesting and intriguing projects this month. I would say there's about 6 to 8 projects that really caught my eye here, and a bunch of different things across different mechanics and themes and whatnot like that. As with every one of these What Board Game Got Back videos, we are going to start the video off with honorable mentions, where I'm going to be talking about 2 games, one from Kickstarter and one from GameFound, that really caught my eye, really intrigued me. I might have backed these board games but end up canceling my pledge, or I was very close to backing these games for one reason or the other. And then I will talk about the actual projects that I have backed. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump down to the screen and take a look at the 2 honorable mentions for this given month in this video. And then we'll talk about the projects that I have backed for the month of November. All right, guys, taking a look at the computer screen, the very first honorable mention project for this month is Grifoni Blades for Hire. This is a tactical Euro game with story-driven gameplay for 2 to 4 players. Build your band and shape the fate of the Grifoni company. This is coming to you from Ludus Magnus Studios, and Grifoni is a board game. I don't know if it says it anywhere exactly what the player count is, the time. I would assume when I was looking at this one, I think it was like 1 to 4 players or 1 to 5 players, 90 minutes, probably gonna be about 90 minutes, ages 14 plus, maybe somewhere in there. But the overall theme here with Grifoni is players command rival companies seeking fame and fortune across 3 narrative-driven acts, recruit and equip mercenaries, complete daring tasks across diverse regions, and influence a balance of power to shape the unfolding story. Your choices will determine not only your band's legacy, but the fate of the entire campaign. And so you can see kind of everything here. You're going to have your own player board. You're going to be managing these mercenaries. You can recruit mercenaries. There's going to be some worker placement here. These are the quests that you're trying to fulfill, and this is that story, that narrative, story-driven act that you guys are taking a place in. Now, what interested me about this game? Well, first off, Ludus Magnus, I don't own any of their games, and I've always wanted to own one of their particular games, just because, man, their production of these games looks amazing. All right. And secondly, I love the time period here. I love this theme of you're recruiting these mercenaries. You're taking these mercenaries out into the world, and you're trying to manage your wagon and all of these different things, equipping your mercenaries, sending them on missions to complete things. The mechanics look great. The story, the theme here looks great. The time period is right up my alley with that Renaissance Italy. So that's really all the things that interested me in this particular project. Now, I actually ended up backing this project and canceling my pledge. Why did I do that? I think for me, at the end of the day, guys, it just looked too big of a production for me. You can see here, as I mentioned earlier, is not only do you have to manage your own player board and the mercenaries and kind of your player area, you have this whole big 2-level board. There's a top level and a bottom level, 2-tiered board, right? This whole board, all these different quest cards, all the components and pieces, all the narrative story-driven area. It just looks like a lot of things to be on the table. It looks like a table hog. It looks to be a big, grandiose production. And those are kind of some of the similarities you see with a lot of Ludus Magnus Studio games. And for me, I think that's why I just ultimately ended up canceling my pledge. Just looked like a giant Euro style game, and just something that at this particular time I was not ready for, or didn't really have an interest in as I thought more and more about this game. Even though I enjoyed the theme, the mechanics looked cool and things like that, the artwork looked beautiful. I loved all the pop culture references that they have in some of the equipment and cards, right? Like they have like the straw hat from One Piece, They have like a character that resemble Yennefer and Geralt that you can hire. But yeah, all in all, at the end of the day, guys, I think I just decided to cancel my pledge just because it just looked too big of a production, right? It looked like a giant box, very big production, and I have a lot of other games that are big productions that have not hit the table very often, so I just didn't want to be one of those games investing the amount of money in this one. But that is the first honorable mention for the month of November, Griffoni Blades for Hire. All right, the second project, on the second honorable mention project we have today is b.e.l.o.w. The Asylum from Awaken Realms. This is a board game for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 plus, right around 90 minutes per playthrough. And b.e.l.o.w. is a fully cooperative one-shot action horror board game where 1 to 4 players take on the role of elite agents confronting unspeakable threats that lurk beneath reality. And this one looked amazing, right? This gave us this Cthulhu vibes, right? This Eldritch horror, Arkham horror style vibes, but in a Awaken Realms package with all of these deluxeified miniatures. The boards looked really cool. This was actually my favorite one, the SS Warath, being on this ship, going between the upside down and the below, kind of like Stranger Things, right? They added this in, like one side is the human side, the other side is this below netherworld where creepy things happen. And I mean, look, the theme of the game, the artwork, the presentation, all this stuff looked amazing. The mechanics of the game looked right up my alley, right? Dual world map, tactical ritual system, true co-op survival-esque style game. All the components looked phenomenal and things like that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, guys, look, I have so many one-shot scenario style games from Awaken Realms, excuse me, already. And, you know, I have Tamashii I still got to finish. I just got in Grim Coven, and, you know, I just felt like back in Asylum would just be another game that's going to sit on my shelf, especially if being a one-shot style, right? There's no real kind of campaign style progression where when you finish it, you can like get rid of it or pass it on to somebody else. So that's kind of the first reason. The second reason I ended up passing on this one is, you know, Awaken Realms production value on their games, I've kind of noticed has been so up and down lately that it's hard to get an accurate read on your resale value if you did not end up liking this game or just didn't get the value or plays out of it that you wanted on the secondary market. And so, like I said, a lot of their games are just up and down with the price point. Some you're still able to get good value for, and some you won't even get close to half of the value that you got for that particular game. And so that's ultimately, at the end of the day, why I chose to skip this one, even though I love these one-shot scenario miniature style games. I have a bunch of these already that I have to finish, and I wasn't quite sure if I back this one, would I be able to get my value back if I invested this much money into this one. But that is the second honorable mention for the month of November, guys. This is b.e.l.o.w. The Asylum from Awaken Realms. All right, guys, let's go ahead and talk about the projects that I have backed this month for November. There are 5 total projects that I have backed. You know, usually I try to average about 3 to 5 projects a month, depending on the value and the different types of games that they have. Some months it's very, very easy. Some months it is very, very difficult. Since I'm on GameFound, we're going to go ahead and stay on GameFound right here. And I'm going to go ahead and start with Escape the Dark Castle 2nd Edition and Escape the Dark Forest. So this is one of the first projects that I backed. This is a 1 to 4 player game, ages 14 plus, right around 30 minutes per playthrough. This is coming to you from Theme-Born Games. And I do want to note here that I specifically just backed the Escape the Dark Castle 2nd Edition here. So what is this Escape the Dark Castle or Escape the Dark series, right? The Escape the Dark series is almost like a roguelite choose your own adventure style game where you're going to have a character and you're going to have like an equipment and things like that, and you are going to create this deck of story cards. So you'll have like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and then you will have a boss at the bottom of that. And so you are going to flip over these cards one at a time. These cards are going to have pictures on them. They're going to have flavor text on these cards, and they're going to present you with choices. And sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes you do have a choice. And again, it's very choose your your own adventure style. So it's like, hey, you encounter this guy. Do you want to fight him? Do you not want to fight him? Do you want to ask him for help? Do you not want to ask him for help? Right? And so when I saw this, we own Escape the Dark Sector, and so which is a sci-fi version of this one. I've been looking for and wanting Escape the Dark Castle for a long time now, but I'm glad I waited so this second edition comes out, because it seems like they've made a lot of necessary changes to the original one. So you can see there's Escape the Dark Sector that we own. But what is this Escape the Dark series in a nutshell? I talked about it, guys, right? Simple design, satisfying, get out of the way rules to enable fun, immersive, memorable gameplay. Players must work together to cooperate from the first turn. You will win or lose together. This is very regular interaction and discussion. This is a must. These games are very punishing, very Dark Souls-esque. Variable setup means you will not know what chapter will bring, right? Again, you're going to choose one of different bosses, bunch of different stuff. It is fantastic what they've done with this roguelike game. And you can see here, you will choose one of these different characters. You'll get some dice that are specific to your character. You might get starting equipment. Then you will shuffle these act cards together, or take a certain amount of act cards from each act, put them together. You'll pick a boss, and then you can see kind of what some of these cards look like with the different story text and flavor text on this one. So you can see, like, you'll read the flavor text, it'll present you with a scenario, you'll have a bunch of different choices. There's the deck and things like that. You get dice, you roll dice, you have checks and things like that. You have special abilities. All in all, the game just, I really enjoy Escape the Dark Sector, but I'm not so much of a sci-fi person where I am like fantasy. So this is why I really wanted Escape the Dark Castle. So super glad that they brought some of the things in Escape the Dark Sector to Escape the Dark Castle 2nd Edition, which is why I backed this one. So first project I backed this month, Escape the Dark Castle. I do want to know here again, I just specifically backed Escape the Dark Castle 2nd Edition. I did not back Escape the Dark Forest. That really did not interest me at all. Okay, guys, staying on GameFound, the second project I backed this month is called Decko. All right, this is by Gem Games. This is for 2 to 5 players, ages 10 plus, right around 60 minutes per playthrough, and it says poker meets deck building and an intense race to create the strongest deck. Each player starts with a basic poker deck. They will transform throughout the game by acquiring magical cards and powerful jokers. Raise, fold, and call bets while building your deck to amass the most poker chips and claim victory. Look, I'll tell you what, Decko, I'm hoping, is very similar to a game that I just backed called Parlay. Parlay is a trick-taking style game that uses a standard deck of 52 playing cards and really has combinations of spades and hearts, where you're going to have a hand of cards. You are going to bet how many tricks you think you're going to win, or hands that you're going to win, and you're throwing cards out there with different suits. And of course, there's going to be a lead suit, there's going to be a special suit, and if you are the highest ranking card, you will win that trick. We have fell in love with Parlay. I mean, it is such a great game. It's easy to teach, it's easy to get to the table, it's great in a big group setting. It is for people who have never played board games. It's for people who have played a ton of board games. It brings this joy for a lot of people. So I saw Decko and I was like, man, this looks like another game that I'm hoping can be Parlay style-esque, right? Where you are taking a hand of 52, or you got a deck of cards, right? It's going to add some deck building in it, poker with deck building, in this tableau with all these crazy jokers. So you start with the same simple deck of cards, you buy cards from the central area, and all of these cards have zany rules and things like that. Every round you get to burn one card. Reducing this deck, you have all these wacky jokers that you can play that have all these crazy different abilities and things like that. You have these different wild cards. The deluxe edition gives like these clay poker chips and a neoprene mat as well. And then of course, this is GameFound exclusive as well. Now, that wasn't the reason why I ended up backing this one, but I think for me, at the end of the day, the ultimate reason why I backed this one is, again, I love the deck building mechanic. So I was interested to see how they were going to take a game like poker, which is very easy, simple, everybody knows, and give it a board game style flair without hopefully making it seem like it's doing too much. But the presentation looks amazing. It looks fun. So I'm curious to see how this one plays out. But this is Decko from Gem Games. on GameFound, the second project I backed this month. Okay, moving over to our last 3 projects, we are going over to GameFound, and the very first of these projects is going to be Eldertide 1000 Lights. All right, this is a lightweight civilization board game featuring a beautifully crafted Asian-inspired seafaring kingdom. This is a board game for 1 to 5 players, ages 14 plus, right around 90 minutes per playthrough, and this one is coming to you from Esper Game Studios. Eldertides is, let me tell you what this is. So in Eldertides, players lead 1 of 5 houses on a once mighty seafaring nation, now rising to reclaim their homeland from a devastating supernatural storm that has raged for decades. With powerful ships at their command, they embark on a mission to rebuild a network of ancient tech beacons across these scattered islands. So this is a pick up and deliver board game with elements of market fluctuation and civilization building. Each player controls a foundation ship sailing across several ports to collect and transport resources. These resources can either be exported for immediate points or invested in constructing facilities around players' own outposts, leading to more explosive end-game opportunities. The storm acts as a hindrance, breaking points that can be rebuilt and posing a direct threat to ships themselves. Careful route planning and resource management are essential to exceed. So what attracted me to this game? Well, first of all, we own Esper Game Studios' very first project, the Queen's New Capital, and I love that game a whole lot. Now, that game has received a lot of criticism for having AI art, but I still think the mechanics, I actually enjoyed the art itself. I love all the little like cute little animal guys. They almost look like toy figures, but they look really, really funny and cool and unique. And so, I have a great feeling when it comes to the publisher Esper Game Studios. Now, I missed out on Jisogi, but I've heard that's got a lot of great reviews as well. So then I see Eldertides, and really what attracted me to this one is the artwork, the Asian inspired theme. I love that. I love the presentation. I love the look of the game. I love down here where it talks about, you know, it feels like a civilization game without all the complexity, right? So there's not 17 different things I can do on my turn. I got to make all these different choices. It plays quick. It looks like it plays quick with little downtime between players. I love that storm going around and breaking the different ports, and so you guys have to rebuild these ports, so there might be some advantages in working together a little bit, but all in all, it looks like a beautiful immersive product and presentation, and this is one of 3 games that will be released under this Eldertide series. So I want to try the first one, see if I enjoy this one, to see if I want to get the other 2 games in this series. But for me, this is Eldertide 1000 Lights, and I do believe the price point was pretty good on this one as well. Yeah, the standard, the Founders Edition was 71 US dollars, so that's pretty average from what most people did. But yeah, Eldertide 1000 Lights. Okay, moving on, the second to last project of today, we have Punch Bowl, an award-winning game of giant fruits. A stunning and strategic game of competitive punch making with mouth-watering fruit gems from the makers of Fire Tower. So this is Runaway Parade. This is a board game for 1 to 5 players, ages 10 plus, right around 30 to 45 minutes per playthrough. And in this one, choose 1 of 4 factions, orange, lemon, grape, or strawberry, and lead a band of rollicking revelers in this competitive punch making game. Now, I'm gonna be honest, guys, I hardly know anything about Punch Bowl. This is a game that I backed specifically for Sierra. So she sent me a reel on this one and was like, hey, this game looks beautiful. We need to get this one. And I was like, sounds good, I will do it. But from the look at this game, I mean, visually, it looks beautiful and amazing, right? You have all these ultra deluxe components, right? Hand-painted watercolors on the cards and things like that. You have these beautiful, beautiful looking acrylic gems, grape, orange, strawberry, lemon, cubes. You got these punch bowls. I mean, this board game looks like it is a piece of art. and just everything that it does. And so, you know, this kind of how to play a little bit, make a plan, make some punch, add a twist to it, serve the punch, right? But fill up your cup. So I think it has little cups in the game, which are cool, that you fill up the cups almost like chai, where you're filling up those teacups and things like that. But yeah, guys, I mean, look, this game looks beautiful. It looks gorgeous. Sierra wanted it, so I backed it. So this is Punch Bowl. And I actually think the price point was great on this one as well. Yeah, so it's only $45 for the deluxe edition of the game, which is really, really good, with all these acrylic gems and tokens and things like that. So phenomenal. Phenomenal for me. This gives me, again, chai kind of vibes, where you're making these punches and putting them in the little cups and things like that. But yeah, Punch Bowl. This is from, who's this from again? Runaway Parade Games, all right? Moving on to the very last game of this month, guys, we have Catnap, a tile laying game about out snuggling your rivals. So Catnap is a clever tile laying game where 1 to 2 players create playful cats across a cozy living room floor. Out snuggle your rival, lay cat tiles to form long cats, like if Carcassonne and Arboretum had a cat baby, all right? So this is a tile laying game. This is from b.e.l.o.w Games. Not sure what else they did. Delightful cat themed tile laying game. So you're basically going to, the game is simple. You're pawing and drawing. So on your turn, either play a tile from your cat's paw or draw 2 tiles from the bag, placing one or discarding the other into the litter box. Store tiles on your cat's paw. That's what you're going to do. And you are trying to complete the cats of a different color, right? And you're going to score points for that one. But this one is very simple. Looks very cute, guys. This is a cute 2-player looking game. You know, Sierra saw this one and she was like, hey, this game looks super cute. Maybe we should back this one and try this one out. And it looks like it's great for little children as well. You could introduce this one to 2 young kids. And, you know, she had even said, you know, when our baby girl gets old enough, we could have this game. This might be a fun, cute game to introduce to her, so that we can play together. But yeah, I fell for the trap again through my wife Sierra. But this is Catnap, a tile laying game about out snuggling your rivals, from b.e.l.o.w Games. All right, guys, well, that is the end of today's videos. If you enjoyed this content, smash that like button, hit that notification bell, drop down in the comments below. Did you guys back any of the games that I showcased here today? Or was there a project in November that I missed that I should have backed? Let me know down below. Last but not least, guys, if you are not subscribed to our channel, please go and subscribe so we can keep bringing you some more awesome content. All right, guys, y'all have a great one. Bye.